Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2025 Mazda CX-5. This is a Turbo Premium. It's finished off in deep crystal blue mica, and the MSRP start right around $38,000. So you have almost the top trim level. There's one above this, but this has a lot to offer for the pricing. And we'll start off with what this is powered by, which is the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This is paired to a 6-speed automatic, and it pumps out 256 horsepower, 320 pound-feet of torque. It is all-wheel drive. It'll do 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds, and then as far as fuel economy goes, you're looking at 22 miles per gallon in the city and 27 out on the highway. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, you'll notice the massive Mazda badge, which is also the sensor for distance pacing. There's a forward-facing camera, plenty of cutouts in the gloss black grille as well to provide additional cooling. There's parking sensors up front, a large cutout in the lower section, and then a sunken-in design for all of the lighting up front, which are LEDs. You can see there's some bodywork that protrudes out from it just to give them a nicer integrated look. There's also more gloss black in the lower section of the bumper there, and then some nice lines that come down the hood. Now you'll notice that the gloss black works its way to not only these wheels, but it's on the fender arches and the lower side skirt as well. And it's also on the mirror caps, where there's a camera and a turn signal. You'll notice there's some chrome for the lower section of the window, sunroof up top, and then some very nice subtle lines flowing down the side. Now in the back, there's a body colored spoiler with the third brake light. There's a wiper blade in the lower section, LEDs for all the lighting, backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then the dual exhaust in the lower bumper there. Now you can use the key fob, of course, or the controller underneath to gain access to the cargo space, where this actually has a good bit of rear cargo space with the seats up. This also gets a spare, and you have a little bit of space where you can place additional items as needed. You'll notice there's some cutouts on the side too, so you can place some items there too. And then this has the cover installed, so you can use it as needed. And you can also fold all 3 seats down by pulling on the tabs on both sides. So you can quickly do that if you are loading in some items. And then the control up top will just close the lift gate. Now, if the vehicle is locked, you do have to grab up front or the key fob to unlock the rear doors. Now, the interior has a nice design to it. You'll notice there's 2 different colors for the stitching, some nice trim accents, some storage down below, and then an illumination for the CX-5 badge. Now, if you want to fold the seats down from here, simply just grab by the headrest there, and that's how you can fold these flat and then lock them into place. This one is going to be a little bit different. You just have the strap right up top there. Now at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. There's storage pockets, there's vents in the middle. I have about 2 or so inches of headroom. And then check this out. With the armrest, not only do you get cup holders, you have the heated seat controls. You get an armrest that opens up where there's also some auxiliaries too. So that is nice to see those hidden away. And then you have some lights up top in the headliner. Now up front, this has all the window controls, mirror adjustments, both for the audio, more storage down below, and then the same badge for the door sill. Now this has a power operating driver's seat, which gives you memory seating adjustments. And then it's a low SUV, so it's easy to enter. Now as we start this up, this has a solid leather steering wheel with all of the red accents. There's also paddle shifters, and then on the left side, there's volume and some Bluetooth controls along with tuning, and then you can push on info to go through some of this information in the gauge cluster. Everything else is going to be fixed, but you can scroll through some of this daily driving information depending on what you would like to see. And then on the right side, there's all of the cruise control settings along with lane keeping assist. Now on this left side, there's the fuel cap and hood release. There's also the lift gate, lane keeping assist, parking sensors, and then you have a view button to go through this camera system. So you can go through a few different angles there, depending on where you need to see. This also gets a head-up display, and then with the infotainment system, currently I have my phone paired to this system. So it is a touchscreen system. However, when you put the vehicle into drive and start moving, this becomes disabled and you have to use the controls down below, where you have shortcuts to your navigation, home, music, a favorites control. There's also volume for your audio, and then the rotary dial here. And then in order to get back into the normal Mazda system, all you have to do is hold on the home button for a few seconds. You will hear it audibly do that, and now we are back to all of the Mazda information. So you can go through all of this, where you can monitor some of this. You can also get into your entertainment, so of course all of your different audio settings. You can look at communication, so your phone when you have that paired, and then you have navigation and a few settings to get into. So you have your vehicle display, sound settings, vehicle settings. You can get into all of this information here. It's pretty easy to go through, but again, it is not touch screen for this setting right now. And if we go back to home, you can pull up just the time. You can push on home again to get here. And then you'll notice Apple CarPlay is down, Android Auto is up just by bumping on the rotary dial, or just hold on the home button in the middle for a second or two, and you can get back to this, where you can go through this with the touchscreen system. So it's very interesting to see that. Again, some things are not, some things are. Or again, you can just push on the Mazda icon there and you can get back into this system here. You have air vents underneath that, and then there's the heated steering wheel control. You get heated and ventilated seats. There's fan speed, temperature dials, where you'd like the air to go. This even gets wireless charging with an auxiliary down below. And then as we put this into reverse, this is where I think it's interesting that it is disabled as a touchscreen system. So you have to reach over to the left side to go to the view button to go between these different angles. And then same with drive. These are the same angles that you saw as I pushed on that button before. So definitely interesting that it is touchscreen in some aspects, but not in others. Now you can shift with the shifter or the paddle shifters. And then you have basically two different driving modes along with an off-road mode if you choose to do that. Now there's auto hold with the e-brake, and then you have cup holders. You get auxiliaries with a good bit of storage in the armrest. There's more storage in the glove box there. And then up top, there's garage door buttons along with a sunglass holder, dome lights, and controls for the sunroof. And then here's a look at visibility, where it's pretty easy to see. It's a small vehicle, but it has a lot of glass, so it's very easy to look around. And so we're in sport mode, second gear. Here we go. And with a light acceleration, we are up to speed. Paddles are pretty responsive, so you can use those as needed. And this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the CX-5. Now, this is not a backroads type of vehicle like what I am on right now in terms of higher speed situations, things like that. But for these roads here, this handles very well. It's a compact SUV, so it's a little lower than a standard SUV, lower center of gravity too. So it'll be able to take roads like this well. Not that you're going around these corners quickly, but if you're taking a trip and you're on some back roads, this seems to handle very nicely for these types of situations. But it's a very nice vehicle to drive. I like for the pricing, you have a lot of the standard features that you would like to see. So if you don't want to necessarily spend $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 for a vehicle, you have pretty much all of the basics that you need in this model here. And again, just depending on what you would like to spend for this particular model, you have several options to go with. And I will say, it's been nice to drive. We have some very nice materials on the armrest here, super comfortable driving position for your driver, and just a nice place to be. So if you want a brand new vehicle, you don't want to break the bank, it's still going to be an expensive vehicle. This is going to be a great brand new vehicle to go with. But that is going to wrap it up for the new Mazda CX-5 Turbo Premium. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.